everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another one of our weekly news roundup discussion videos where I round up that week's anime and just slightly gaming news and talk about it in a weekly roundup just in case you missed it. That way I can get you caught up on that week's news and you have something to watch if you're not keeping up with the same shows as me this anime season. Now, luckily there is significantly less things to talk about this week than there was last week. Last week they had the big convention Anime Japan, so obviously things were a lot more hectic. This is going to be a lot more of a chill experience. There's a lot less going on. So what do you say we go ahead and talk about probably the biggest news this week? Definitely, I think the news that everybody really wants me to talk about. It's the big thing that happened. So may as well just go ahead and address it. It's JoJo related. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Giorno Giovanna confirmed for Jump Force, my dudes. We made it. Giorno, I can't even pretend like that's the hype. But it's true though. Giorno enters Jump Force and he arrives as the final character for Character Pass 2 and what I have to assume is the end of Jump Force's DLC. Jump Force, if you didn't know, was the big hyped up new arena fighter that seemed cool at first. I don't know if you guys remember the initial trailers for Jump Force, but it legitimately seemed super cool, only for it to turn out to be just kind of whatever. It had a realistic art style, which I thought was bizarre, and admittedly clashed with some designs. Some designs didn't really fit, but it was these anime characters coming to our world and throwing down, so you'd have Frieza's spaceship next to I don't know, the Statue of Liberty or something. So it was just weird to see these anime things in our real world with real world-esque textures and art style. It just didn't really work, and the gameplay itself was really bad. Really, really bad. And that's not to knock arena fighters. There are obviously some super good arena fighters. It's just that this one was really bad. And you might have actually heard about just how bad Jump Force was. So, several months later, Giorno finally makes his way over to Jump Force as the final DLC character. I really think this is it. I don't think they're getting anything else. I think this is just about all they can milk out of the stone. I was legitimately debating playing Jump Force on stream, just to see what Giorno plays like. If you see the trailer that dropped, he mostly is getting his ass kicked. There's at one point they literally show Giorno getting his ass kicked for a bit by Kaiba, Gaara, and Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin, even though we straight up see GER. We see Gold Experience Requiem. This is Requiem. But it meant nothing, and Giorno got his ass kicked. I'm I don't think that would happen. So, I don't know. I thought it was weird. It was a weird trailer, weird announcement, especially when we talk about the next actual big thing that happened, and of course that is Stone Ocean confirmed. Stone Ocean finally gets confirmed. Friggin' hooray! Only took forever. Okay, that's a little bit harsh. It's not that it took forever. It's just that, we've been waiting for Stone Ocean for, I believe it's been a year and a half, 2 years since Part 5. It's been a hot minute with no confirmation about Part 6. So we officially got a confirmation at the Inherited Soul event, which they were hyping up that this Inherited Soul event was going to be the biggest moment in JoJo's anime history. And I don't think Part 6 qualifies as the biggest moment in JoJo's anime history. I would say the fact that everybody seems to agree, including manga fans, that Part 5 was better than, the anime was better than the manga. I feel like that might be the biggest moment in JoJo's anime history. But it was a cool event. I didn't see it the whole way through, obviously, because you had to pay, I think a $40 ticket just to see the event live. But obviously, some clips surfaced. And there's a clip of Joseph Joestar's voice actor. Forgive me, I cannot think of the name off the top of my head right now. But they, all the Joestars, basically, their voice actors were there. And they all did, a performance, just apart from their tenure on the show. and they reenacted it live on stage. And this is a big spoiler for JoJo's Part 2 if you haven't seen it. So 3, 2, 1. Joseph discovering Caesar's body. Well, the squishy remains. And they're like, Caesar! It was so much more gut-wrenching than it used to be, and it's already a gut-wrenching scene. So it was cool to get that moment. But obviously it's not about Joseph Joestar. This is about Jolene Joestar. Well, Jolene Cujo, I should say. And the teaser that we get, basically, it shows Jolene off. We see Jolene, we get a yare yare dawa. And we get Jotaro's theme, which I think is very clever, because again, daughter of Jotaro. Which is not a spoiler, okay? Everybody been new. That's not a spoiler. We also get to see the appearance of Ai Faruz, who, if you don't know, was Hibiki in Dumbbell, How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. And her role as Hibiki, when they announced that she was going to be playing Jolene, I was like, perfect. Because, like, Hibiki has, like, that like, energy of a Joestar, you know? Like, that, like, ah! Like, that, like, ready to scream, but at the same time, the comedic timing. Because let's be real, JoJo's is pretty funny sometimes. So you gotta have, like, a really good balance of knowing when to be serious and when to be really comedic. And I think Ai has a good balance of the two. And she is a really good pick for a number of reasons. The biggest one I'm gonna go over right now through a quote that she gave on the stage, just saying, I cannot live without JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it's what inspired me to take voice acting as a profession. So when I heard that I was going to be able to participate in the series, I was at a loss for words, and surprised that even a stand would be blown to the moon. The translations for the stream weren't the best. I cried so much as it was literally the moment my dream came true, which I have chased for over 12 years. I love and admire Jolene as a character, and her beautiful, strong nature gave me strength, especially during my student years, so I am grateful for the opportunity to voice Jolene. Ai Faruz is my new queen. I love this woman. I love how excited she is to be a Joestar. Like, that's one of us, you know? Like, one of us got to be a Joestar. That's so cool, right? She was part of the fandom. Like, she's been with the show for ages. I believe they even said that back in the day she would fan dub the show into Arabic, which is like, that's so cool. Like, that's so cool. Like, it's just nice to have somebody who is like already a long-standing fan with such burning passion for the character like of Jolene and such an interest in the series actually getting to play Jolene. It just makes it even better. No date was given though, and there's no real confirmation on like a specific like year even, but I'm going to safely assume 2022. And maybe like the first half of 2022 is when it'll start. That'd be my guess, but don't quote me on that. There's no official date given, but the confirmation alone was hype enough. I know some folks were sort of expecting, because they hyped it up as the biggest announcement in JoJo's anime history, people were expecting like part 6, which would immediately lead into 7. Which I wasn't really expecting. I was pretty much just expecting part 6. But the fact that we got part 6, the fact that Jolene's like visual art looks so sick, I'm a happy dude. Not much complaining on my end here. Moving on, in other Jump title related shenanigans, we have the MHA manga taking some time off. I believe by the time that you guys see this, it should be either back on track or about to be back on track. So if you noticed that there was suddenly a gap in the My Hero schedule, a sudden train car missing from the My Hero Academia hype train. That's because Horikoshi is apparently pretty sick. It's not like super clear what he is sick with. I certainly hope it's not too bad. But he is set to be returning April 12th for the next chapter. So before you guys know it, it should be, by the time this video drops, it should be 2 days later. So yeah, if you're wondering what happened to Horikoshi, what happened to My Hero, the dude's been under the weather, so, you know, cut him some slack, okay? And I wanted to give my dude some well wishes. Horikoshi is, you know, obviously the mangaka of My Hero, which is one of my favorite currently airing series. I love My Hero. And I do feel like it's worth noting here that, and I really want to hammer this home, that the grind for not only anime but manga, like this grind is brutal. And I think mangaka, I've seen the schedules that mangaka have while I don't read manga myself, I know how rough that schedule is, and I've been saying for a while that manga should probably do what anime does and go seasonal. It might be a little bit better mental health-wise and physical health-wise for these mangaka. And the fact that Horikoshi is sick and is taking a week off, I just know that there's going to be somebody who's like, "Whoa, how come blah, 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 blah." No, let the man rest. And I feel like the Taite Kubo route, where he just works on Burn the Witch every so often, is the route to go. We've seen this with Jump Plus, where Jump Plus has a number of titles that take time off, right? I believe like number 8, Kaiju number 8 takes time off, I think every 3rd week or something like that. I believe Spy X Family takes time off. Like, they all take time off, and they're all digital as well. So I think Jump Plus is doing what I want the mainstream manga scene to be doing, although I'm not a manga fan, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, that this is very much a time where I want to really hear what manga fans think of this idea. Would you rather it continue to be the way it is, or do you actually want the mangaka to have time to breathe? Like, Kishimoto didn't even have time to go on a honeymoon. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't until after Naruto ended that he actually got to go on his honeymoon. That's crazy. I don't know if that's true. I've heard that a number of times. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I'm wishing Horikoshi a speedy recovery. I hope that he's doing better again by now. Yeah, just all the best. And again, let me know what you guys think. Where you sit on the whole manga seasonal thing. But moving on, we have some video game news to talk about. We got Street Fighter V Spring Update. I freaked the hell out. I really lost my mind on stream because I was in the middle of playing Fighters on stream. Twitch.tv/JoJo talks too much, by the way. But I was in the middle of streaming Fighters with the chat when my lovely mod, Kisa, had pointed out, like, dude, the Spring Update, you're going to want to watch it. So I was like, oh, God, okay. Like, I assumed that we'd just be getting a look at Oro. Which we do. We get a look at Oro and his turtle buddy, and they look hella fun. We get a look at Rose, who looks hella complicated, but also super fun. But as you can tell by the screenshot I'm likely using, Akira looks friggin' amazing. Akira from Rival Schools is there. I lost my mind because I really wasn't expecting to see Akira. So I was like, who is this? It didn't connect that we'd be seeing Akira so soon because she's like a fall 2022 character. You know, like, I didn't expect to see Akira at all. Like, I don't know how, like, I'm pretty sure she's fall 2022. She might be a little, or maybe she's fall 2021. I don't remember. Like, I just didn't expect to see the character in this completed form. Not completed form, but in this much of a state where you can actually see her play and, like, do combos and stuff. I wasn't expecting to see her for a while. And if you don't know, Capcom has had Rival Schools on the back shelf for a long time. Like, Rival Schools is one of those series that you likely hear a lot of fighting game fans remember fondly and hasn't really come back in a while. Rival Schools was like a high school anime if everybody kicked ass. It was like, it had like a dating sim-esque type of element. Rival Schools is crazy. Just crazy. And seeing Akira and like had like air combos. You see Akira doing air combos on Dan. Poor Dan, by the way. But you see Akira doing air combos on Dan, and it looks super sick. And I lost my mind. I was so excited. Her design is flawless. The character is so fun. And the fact that one of her V-triggers is calling Daigo, her big brother, to just like show up. He lands down like a missile and then explodes. And then he just kind of like saunters off and he's like, catch you later. And it's like, oh, it's so sick. I can't stress enough, if you're into Street Fighter and you didn't watch the Spring Update, do it. Like, Akira looks so sick. And if you've ever wanted to get into Street Fighter, now is a really good time. Like, now is a very, very good time. Get the Street Fighter V Championship Edition, and there's like one that has all the DLC bundled in. You get so much game for what you're paying. Like, you get so much game. There's so much to Street Fighter V now. And it's funny because it was a game that just had a shaky start. So the fact that it is where it is now is fantastic. I could not be happier with where Street Fighter V is right now. So yeah, if you're not into Street Fighter V, do it. If you are, dude, look at Akira. She looks so sick. I can't wait for this character to drop. I am going to be streaming that instantly. But let's move on. We got other stuff we got to talk about. We got to talk about some anime news. We got to talk about Obey Me, getting an anime adaptation. So Obey Me is the otome smartphone game about what I assume to be a group of horny demons, and it's getting an anime set this December. So the announcement actually came to us in the form of this short sort of special that dropped on the official YouTube channel. And it's very clear that, like, the people making Obey Me are aware that Obey Me is like, you know, it's like hot demon dudes who are vying for your attention, right? They have so much fun with it. This special that they dropped was hilarious. I genuinely know nothing about the series, and I was dying. I thought it was super, super funny. But because I don't know enough about the series, I knew I had to ask somebody who I truly trust, who I know has experience with Obey Me and can better explain the appeal. So I had to ask my girl, Ami Yoshiko, to try to, like, give me, like, just a quote about Obey Me that I can relay to you guys. So Ami basically just told me what's more fun than 7 beautiful, handsome demon boys who are all potential bachelors for your love. It's one of their favorite dating sims with a great developed story, amazing unique characters, and even though the anime won't be following the main story, Ami's still pretty excited just to see, like, the daily hilarious shenanigans of her favorite demon boys. And that is pretty much what I would hope for, right? Like, it's not necessarily going to be adapting the story per se. It's mostly just an anime to sort of entice you into playing the actual mobile game, into, like, experiencing the story proper. Now, I will say I am definitely intrigued. The demon boys be quite interesting, and I do be very curious to see their proper storylines. You know, I wouldn't mind playing Obey Me, maybe on stream. I don't know. Let me know. Would you guys want to see me play Obey Me on stream, like over on the website that starts with a T? Because I'd be down for that. Honestly, the PV kind of worked. Not the PV, but the special that they dropped, the little short special, kind of worked on me. I am very curious. And look, if Ami's vouching for it, Ami knows what she's talking about when it comes to this otome scene. So if Ami's vouching for it, you know it's good. So yeah, Obey Me's getting an anime adaptation. If you didn't know, now you know. But moving back over to the video game side of things, E3 2021 is actually going to be a thing. So E3 is actually set for June 12th to the 15th. However, it is not open to the public in the way that you think. It is in the sense that, like, anybody can attend. However, it's not like a in-person thing. Very much E3 is planning to be a digital event, which makes sense. You know, we're still in the midst of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, so, you know, make sure that you don't scalp tickets to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. If you know what I'm talking about, good for you. But, you know, going outside, not the best option right now. So E3 2021 is mostly planning to just be a digital event. So anybody can attend, but it's all digital, and they're apparently trying to make it more inclusive and free to the public, which, like, cool, but it's always kind of been free to the public. Like, I don't go, and nor would I ever want to go to E3. I don't want to pay a ticket to go to E3. Like, that's just not something I'm interested in. When I can just sit at home and just watch the event. So, yeah, not really interested in going. But the fact that they're like, yeah, we're going to make it more inclusive and open free to the public. I'm like, okay, cool. It's always been that way, but all right. I'm mostly just shocked that E3's even continuing, because it seemed like last year we were all just like, well, E3's dead. And, it seemed as though Jeff Keighley's, like Papa Jeff's, like, Summer Game Fest was the new E3, essentially. But no, it looks like E3 is returning. I do not think that Papa Jeff is in any way connected with E3 anymore. So it seems a little bit more corporate than it used to be. But we also have the Game Awards as well. Like, they're not necessarily the same thing, but, like, it is what it is. Like, if E3 sucks, at least we have the Game Awards to look forward to. But the big thing for me, the thing that I find the most interesting about the E3 news is the companies that are actually planning to attend and the companies not planning to attend. So the companies attending are Koch Media, Warner Brothers Games, Take-Two Interactive, Ubisoft, Konami, Capcom, Xbox, and Nintendo. Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, Koch. Those are all huge names. Especially Nintendo and Xbox. Like, that shocked me. I was like, Nintendo and Xbox? Like, actually, like, Nintendo has had stuff going on at E3, but they haven't technically been part of E3 for a long time. Like, Nintendo's done, like, directs around the time that E3 is taking place, but it never really seemed like part of E3, so this was, like, kind of a surprise to me. Xbox, I sort of assumed that if E3 was going to continue, Xbox might try to be there. The fact that you get big companies that, like, might not make, you know, consoles, but are still game developing companies like Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, like, that's still a big deal. They make a lot of important stuff. But what's also interesting is the fact that there's more to be announced, apparently. There's still talks about some companies that are or might or might not be working with E3 this year. But the one that I don't expect to actually show up. It'd be great if they did. I kind of hate that they're not, but I don't expect them to show up, and that's Sony. So PlayStation's not attending. And I don't think that, at least it's not announced yet, and I really don't think they will be. But Sony has been making moves that I do appreciate lately as well. Like Sony buying Evo. I actually kind of like that move. I'm a little bummed because it means that Smash won't be at Evo anymore, but like, it is what it is. That's more of a Nintendo being petty thing. But with Sony not wanting to go to E3, now it's Sony being petty. But we're still likely to get probably a state of play because Sony won't want to fall behind, you know? So Sony's like, I bet you Sony's going to plan some sort of Sony state of play around the same time that E3 2021 is happening. Another company that I noticed that's not here is Square. Square's not here, and I find like Squeenix not being there, that's interesting. Like Square Enix is normally an E3 staple. They have like their own part of E3 that is just dedicated to them, so the fact that they're not there is also surprising. This is big news. Like the fact that E3 is not only a thing, E3 2021 is literally, it's real, but the fact that there's certain companies that are attending that are shocking, and certain companies that aren't attending that are also shocking. Like the fact that Square is not going to be there is really surprising. So, you know, just more food for thought, just more stuff that I wanted to make you guys aware of. What else do we got here on the docket? Oh, Remain. Remain gets their first PV. So this is Mappa's upcoming original series focused on water polo, and it finally got its first PV, and it looks like different by comparison to their current stuff, but it's still interesting. So Masafumi Nishida, this is like this is the thing that's really interesting to me. So Nishida, who is Tiger and Bunny's main creator, right? Like this is the dude who made Tiger and Bunny, is heavily involved in the series. Not only is he serving as co-director, but they're also serving as chief director, series script supervisor, script writer for every episode, and audio director. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different roles that Nishida is playing in the creation of Remain. So this is very much like, it's seemingly Nishida's baby. Like Nishida is like Masafumi Nishida is all about Remain. I don't know why, because like a series about water polo seems very peculiar. I'm like, why this? Like, why is this the series that you're so heavily involved in? Why is this what you really want to be doing when you should be focusing on Tiger and Bunny, my G? But hey, more shows from Mappa. I'm not gonna say no to it, and it's a sports series. It's hilarious to me how much I love sports anime. Considering how little I give a damn about sports. Like, I genuinely don't care about sports unless it's hockey or figure skating. But for some reason, I am all about sports anime. So Remain will remain on my plan to watch that. That sucked. That's terrible. I'm sorry. So what else? Oh, in major news, The World Ends With You, the OP song is changing due to a pretty big scandal. So The World Ends With You, as you might know, has aired by the time that this video goes up. I believe The World Ends With You is airing yesterday for you guys. So it would have aired yesterday for you, I believe. So The World Ends With You had a original track by the band Ali, who we all love, you know, Lost in Paradise, Night and Day. Like, they do a lot of great stuff. Like, they did the Beastars opening. Ali is dope, right? Like, they make great music. So The World Ends With You was going to have this original track by the band. However, it is actually set to be changed now, since apparently the drummer was arrested on Thursday with no details given, Though apparently, like, if you think about it, Japan has a pretty, and when I say pretty, I mean insanely strict drug policy. Like they like are very strict on drugs in Japan, and I think you know where I'm going. Like that's the only thing I can assume. So the drummer was arrested on Thursday. We don't know why, but I assume it's something to do with that. And that's a huge bummer. So, like, I don't really know what's going to happen. I found out about this through Aitai Kimochi on Twitter, and according to them, the first episode features the OP during a scene where Neku and Shiki are battling the noise, but then there's no actual OP. It's just the song is playing during this one portion of the episode. But from episode 2 onwards, they're likely to have the OP, so at first it was sort of unclear as to what's going to happen. It seems as though they're going to be doing a remix of an already existing song and using that in place of the Ali song for the OP, which I don't know how to feel about that, because it's like, that's kind of I don't know how to feel, right? Because it's like, you could just play the song. It's not like Ali the band did a bad thing. The drummer did a bad thing, but I don't know. I still get it at the same time. They want to avoid any potential controversy, and I get that. Using a remix of a song that's already existing and then sort of replacing the Ali track and using that instead, I almost worry if that might hurt the OP in some way, because that's not what the visuals are not matching the song that was chosen. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting start to the World Ends With You anime, especially after all the hype up. There was also a new Neo World Ends With You trailer as well. Like, the World Ends With You is really picking up steam. It did not need this. Like, it did not need some sort of controversy. So that's definitely an issue. That is definitely an issue. But I do think that the World Ends With You anime is going to be just fine. You know, like, I think it's going to continue on perfectly normal. And I'm very much excited to check that show out. I'm not going to cover it on the main channel or anything, but I am likely to do reactions for it. So if you do want to check that out, either sub to the second channel or check us out on the website that starts with a T. So the next piece of news that we got to talk about is, surprisingly enough, it's AniTube related. Not so much anime related, but AniTube. And that is around midnight on Thursday, the YouTube channel Jack and Core was terminated off the website. The reason given was apparently due to multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy on nudity or sexual content, which could have happened, but it seems kind of unlikely. The likely cause might have actually been angry fans who were upset at the group for talking about a certain series that was talked about on the channel. I'm not really going to address it. Like, I'm not going to say what the show was, because I don't want any hate thrown their way, nor do I want any hate thrown my way. So I'm just going to say there was a fandom who was really upset about the Jack and Core situation. And it seems like, and I say that, seems like, they're the ones who false flagged the YouTube channel and got it taken down. I've seen some people say, but our fandom is too small. That's just not the case. Like, one person can take down a YouTube channel because of the crappy way that YouTube is set up, unfortunately. So one of them could have done it, and that would have been it. I will say that the way that this fandom reacted was really uncool. Like, even if it wasn't them, the way they reacted to negative opinions on their show is ridiculous. And allow me to say this, right? I understand where you're coming from. If you're a fan of Eden Zero and you're one of the people who cheered Jack and Core's channel termination, let me state that I understand that feeling of seeing people trash on something you like. One of my favorite series is Sword Art Online. I have had to put up with so much crap for liking Sword Art. I have had to watch channels blow up because of hating on Sword Art Online. There are channels now who have like millions of subs who hated on SAO so much to the point where it is such a dead horse to beat. I understand what it's like to have people crap on a series that you appreciate. However, I would never in a million years cheer for those people having their platform removed from them because they had a different opinion, especially when that different opinion literally affects and hurts nobody. Sometimes I agree with Jack, of course. Sometimes I think that their humor's a little too dark for me, right? I love Jack. He's a good dude. I don't really know Core, but he also seems like a good dude, but their sense of humor can be too much, and I understand that. But they were kidding. It is like the purpose of their channel has always been, to me, a darker, more sort of like weebish take on something like Mystery Science Theater. So would you have Mystery Science Theater taken down because you liked one of the movies they talked about? Probably not. And I would certainly hope not. And I certainly hope that people are aware that that's kind of uncool. And I hope that this whole situation just doesn't happen again. And I really hope that we can get Jack and Core's channel reinstated. So, hashtag bring back Jack and Core. If you can, tweet at Team YouTube, retweet the tweet that Jack and Core's official Twitter page made, that would be really appreciated. Let's try to get these boys their channel back, because it was pretty clearly wrongfully taken away, and I would like to see them get their channel back. And the last piece of news we're going to talk about this week is, once again, KOF news. I did say I was going to end all these videos with KOF news, and I think we need to pick me up after that. So Mai Shiranui is absolutely confirmed for KOF 15, as though there was ever a doubt. Mai giving me similar vibes to Terry in the sense that if it's not broke, don't fix it. Mai's design is basically unchanged, but let's be real, Mai's design is basically perfect. So it's like, I have no issue with Mai's design at all. Mai is one of the reasons why I say if your husbando or waifu can't whoopeth some ass, are they truly a waifu or husbando? And Mai, she's like a 10 out of 10 on the look scale, but she also is ready to whoopeth that ass. So I'm actually really happy to see Mai get such a badass trailer. All of her moves seem super dope. I love her special, where she spins in the air, causes this fire tornado, and then does this cool ass pose when she lands. Mai's definitely gonna be on my team. Not gonna lie. She looks super dope, and her super looks dope, and she looks dope. I'm in. It's just gonna be super cool. I think so far my team is gonna be Terry, Mai, and probably Andy, which is hilarious because Mai and Andy are a couple. So I think, and Terry is Andy's brother, if you don't know. So yeah, probably Terry, Andy, and Mai will be my trio. But the interesting thing, no women's team. If you don't know, the OG women's team has already been announced. We got Yuri, King, and Mai, but they're not announced as a team, because usually at the end of these videos, at the end of these little trailers, these character trailers, they'll show you if they're the third member of a team, they'll then say it'll show the three characters show up, and they'll be team blah blah blah, team Fatal Fury, right? Or team Heroes, right? They'll do something like that. Mai, King, and Yuri were part of the women's team, right? So it's interesting that there's no OG women's team coming back. That might be because Yuri might maybe join the Art of Fighting, but then I don't know where that leaves Mai or King. Maybe they'll have a new female character enter as part of the women's team. There have been other members of the women's team in the past, so maybe one of them will come in and join the women's team while Yuri goes off and joins Art of Fighting again, which does tell me we're probably going to get Ryo, although I don't know why we wouldn't get Ryo. He's usually in these. But yeah, anyway, that's KOF news. You guys should play KOF, or at least watch the trailer. Do it for Mai. Look at her. Do it for Mai. But with that said, everybody, that is going to wrap up today's video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot. Share if you care. Leave a comment down below. And of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, and let all of AniTube know that you're here. And before we go, as always, I want to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names. And hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are two ways to do so. The first is by hitting that Patreon link in the description. For just $1. You can get your name scrolling past the screen, or you could check out that join button right beside the sub button. It gets you a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and your name scrolling past the screen. So either way, whether you hit that Patreon link or you hit that join button, it helps out tremendously. So thank you. Once again, a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. And yeah, this was maybe a slightly shorter version of the news video. I don't know. I seem to have gone on for quite a while. But yeah, let me know if you guys want me to avoid talking about AniTube stuff. I don't know if that came off as vaguely drama-y, but I do want to see my dudes get their channel back. I get it. Jack and Core's sense of humor isn't for everybody. I understand. It's not even really for me half the time, but it just felt wrong, and I wanted to, try to let you guys know about it, to maybe push some more people to help raise more awareness so that we can get Team YouTube to really help reinstate the channel. But yeah, that's it for me. So anyway, bye!